Welcome back after a forever break to the Knit Song Podcast. My name is Audrey, and this is my podcast about knitting, crocheting, yarn dyeing, sewing, and whatever craft inspires me from time to time. This is a live episode, and I hope that it's going well. I worked out my technical difficulties from last time, I think. So hopefully, no, snags. That's the word I'm looking for. So this is episode 26. I tried to film an episode 26 a while ago, and it did not work. So hopefully this will be a favorable experience for all of you that might be watching either now or in the future. So yeah, like I said, this is just a podcast about my knitting and crafting and stuff, and it's been 2 months since my last podcast, which is a long time, and so I just really miss doing this, and I finally felt able to do it this weekend. And at my general chit chat at the end of this episode, I will share more about why and what I've been up to, but I'll just share my contact information and get into the knitting stuff. So, contact information, I Knit a Little Song on Instagram. Our YouTube channel is Knit Song Podcast. Knitsong.com is my website. And I have an Etsy shop, which is Knit Song Yarns. So, yes. Oh, and a Ravelry group that is the Knit Song Podcast as well. So, yeah, that's kind of where to find me. But who are we kidding? You're here to see knitting and yarn, so let's get to that. I'm having some coffee from one of my favorite mugs today, and I'll do a little commercial for this place. It's called the Old Time Inn. It is a wonderful bed and breakfast in Half Moon Bay, California, where, well, I'm not from Half Moon Bay, but we're from close by there, and so this was my husband and I, one of our favorite places to just get away for the weekend. Right on the beach, and so every time I use this mug, I just think of the beach and just vacation and all kinds of happy memories connotated with this little thing. So yeah, I'll put this down though so I can show you my first finished object of the podcast today. I'm so excited. I finally finished a sweater. It happened. And my flax light sweater is done. So I'm wearing it today with a little tank top underneath, but I really like how it turned out. So let me stand up and show you what I did. So you can see I went with a cropped length. I had seen so many cute cropped sweaters lately, and I was like, I really want to try that. So yeah, I did, and I'm so excited. It's very comfortable, and today I'm just wearing denim shorts and a tank top with it, so it's kind of casual, but I actually have also worn it over a black dress, and that looked really kind of more dressy, and that was kind of fun, so I'm really liking it. This is the Flax Light pattern by Tin Can Knits, and it's super well written, easy to knit. It's a great sweater, and I definitely want to make another one. I'll do a full length one, but I really love this one, and I'm so happy I finally finished it. It's a little large, but I think I'd rather have that than too small, and I'm sure at some point I will accidentally use warmer, then maybe it'll shrink, but I'm very happy with it. I can walk you through the colors. Hey Tristan, hello! It's Tristan from Dragon Horde Yarn. Thank you, I'm so glad. I know, I can't believe I finally finished this thing, but I love it. This is yes, I did. I dyed all this yarn. I had to think about it. No, I didn't end up making it longer. I have fallen in love with the cropped length, and I'm sticking with it. So I'm super happy with it. It's really comfy, and it makes it less hot as well too. So yeah, this is my Glacier colorway. This is Siren Song. This is Crushed Blueberry, and this kind of dark purple blacky color at the bottom I never named. But I dyed it specifically to finish this sweater. So this has no name. Ooh, I like sea urchin. This looks like a sea urchin to me. I hereby name you sea urchin. This is sea urchin, but basically it looks like a sea urchin to me now that I'm seeing it in this light. But yeah, it was basically hand-dyed for this sweater alone. So I'm going to do cool things with what's left over of this. I already have a plan for this, but yeah, it went super well with the sweater, and so I'm really happy with it. This is my first, no it's not, it's my second fingering weight sweater, and my first one I did on 5mm needles with fingering weight, and so it's very lacy and blocky, not blocky, yeah, it kind of is a big block. I showed it on like episode 5 or 6, but it's a red striped sweater. But this is my first actually like more knitted to gauge sweater, and it's really comfortable. I like the texture of a fingering weight sweater. I feel like it breathes pretty well, and it's really nice. It's all 75% merino, 25% nylon, so pretty cozy. Anyway, yeah, so that's finished object number 1. And then I'm so excited. I finished a second one today. Now, it's funny that Tristan was just on here because, Tristan, if you're still here, I'm going to show your yarn. I received a beautiful birthday gift of a few skeins of yarn for my birthday, Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarn, and she gave me 2 of her colorways that I thought had to become a shawl together. And so, here they are. And I actually used Christy's pattern, Moving to the Country, Christy from the Yarn Cat Creations, and it was such a fun pattern, and I love it. So here's what I've got. Dun, dun, da, 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 da. Well, that ta-da had an extra da in it, but anyway, ta-da. This is my Moving to the Country shawl, and I love it so much. I used, so the colors that she gave me, this one was, I think, Rocky Mountain Trail, and this one is Frosted Leaves, and then it goes back to the Rocky Mountain Trail. So I'll hold it up. You can see the beautiful speckling, and it's just a great pattern. It's great yarn, and I just had so much fun. This was really quick. I want to say it's been less than a month, and that, for me, that's soon for a finished object. I'm a rather slow knitter, so I'm really happy. I haven't woven in the ends yet, but I love it. I stuck with the pattern. I haven't blocked it yet either. I just finished it this morning. But I love the pattern. I stayed with the pattern until I got to the very end, and I wanted to add a picot detail to the bottom. And I actually did a crocheted picot edging, because I know there's a knitted way, but for me, I just really wanted to try that, and I'm glad I did. So anyway, another finished object. So I'm so excited. I'm thinking I'm mostly going to wear it wrapped around like so, with the little picot bumps showing below. Woohoo! So I'm super excited. This is so summery and springy and fall-y. And when it's like an all-season shawl, because it really looks, it's got the springy kind of green, but you've got all those fall leaves colors. So I think it's a really good color palette that's pretty transitional. Yeah, and I can't wait. Tristan was just saying it's going to grow, and I cannot wait to see it grow because, I mean, I can just show you a little bit. And hopefully after dinner is when I'm going to block it, because I really want to see what dimension, I want to see if I can block it to the dimensions in the pattern. But you can just start to see with the lace, like how that opens up. And so typically I'm not a great blocker. I don't block consistently, but anything with lace, you've got to. So I'm excited to see what happens with this, because there's this beautiful lace detail in her pattern, and I just want to show all that off. So yeah, so hopefully tonight after dinner I can do some of that. I've got my blocking station already, which is just my ironing board, but I'm ready to do it. So yeah, I'm so excited. I love it very much. So yeah, I'm really excited I finished this because I just really have been in a more product knitting mood lately. Like I just have all these knit things that I see and that I want, and I have things in my stash that I want to use, and I've been really trying to just whip things out lately. So it was exciting to get one pretty quickly done. So I'll show this next time. Hopefully, I'll probably be wearing this next time. But yeah, so that's been really a fun project. I think I do have one more finished object, and I think I might have showed this on an Instagram Live. This is actually a gift that I am going to give my friend, and I don't think she watches the podcast, but I won't say who. I'll say it. This is for my friend Charity. She is a Star Wars fan, and she is just a dear friend of mine, and so I was way behind with birthday knits and Christmas knits, and so I made this for her, and I can't wait to give it to her next time I hang out with her, so we shall see. And it is a little Jawa. Isn't he cute? So this is a little Star Wars character from A New Hope, the original first released ever. And they have like 5 seconds in the film, but they're so stinking cute. And this was from this beautiful book and kit that my sister-in-law Emily got me for Christmas that I've showed before. The more crochet, even more Star Wars crochet. And there's a first one and a second one. There's like, there's 2 books that you can get. And I named this little Jawa for Charity Utini because that's like the only intelligible like syllables that they shout out. They're scavenging. So anyway, so this is Utini the Jawa, and I hope Charity loves him. Yeah, and Charity, I hope you're not watching this podcast because that took all the surprise out of it. But I'm pretty darn sure that she doesn't watch them. I don't know. Now I'm freaking out. I probably shouldn't have said that. Anyway, you can see that the yarn is so cute because they had you use the just perfect colors. This yarn actually came with the kit. It comes with the yarn Jawa and one BB-8. And so I was so excited to make this. I just love him. And I hope he'll be a cheerful friend for my friend's desk at work or something. So yeah. There is finished object number 3. So, huzzah! Let's see. I have some works in progress that I will show. The first one is my crochet granny stripe blanket. And I apologize. I have a raspy voice today. My husband and I have both been sick this past week, and he got it way worse than me. But I'm still coming out of it. So, all right. So there's been a little bit of progress made on this blanket, and I've been so enjoying watching Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady podcast, and so she inspired me to bring out some scrappy projects for her Scrappy Sunday. She knits all of her scrappy projects on Sunday, and I love that idea. So last Sunday, I pulled this out, and using the scraps from this sweater, I actually added about 3 rows, so it doesn't look like a ton of progress, but I decided I wanted this blanket to be a queen size, so it's huge. It's really wide, and that's why my progress, it just takes so long, but I love it. It's going to be really fun once I get it done. But it's the kind of thing that I enjoy just working on it from time to time, and that's totally fine with me. So if I get 3 rows done every other week, by the time I'm 50, I'll have a beautiful blanket. So that's all good. And I'm just doing this with a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, and I'm using fingering weight because that is what I'm knitting with most of the time. And so because that's what I'm knitting with most of the time, I wanted my blanket to be that weight. But I do have some sport and worsted scraps that I'm going to start maybe a different blanket with because I really love using scraps. It's super satisfying, I think, to not have waste at the end of the project, that you're done, you've got this scrap, and then you have a beautiful place to put it. Like, it's a really exciting I don't know. I just love that idea. So that's another work in progress. Um, Let me show you another one. So a couple months ago, I dyed up some Dragon Ball Z inspired yarn. I got into that cartoon earlier this year, and it's fabulous. Cartoon is a word that doesn't do it justice. It's fabulous story writing. And my husband is a fan of the show, and I had friends that liked it, and I had heard about it from all these different places, and then never had watched it, and then started watching it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. So I dyed up some colorways that were inspired by the characters, and I'm dropping everything. But this colorway, a character named, and this orangey colorway is inspired by Goku, who I think is the main character. And so I thought my husband's two favorite characters should be knit into a pair of socks for him. So here's how far I am. I have not picked this up for a long time, but if we ever watch some Dragon Ball cartoons at the end of the day, like for 20-30 minutes, I will pull this out and work on these because they go with the viewing. So I love how it turned out. I love how the yarn is striping up. I just really couldn't be more pleased with how the color is laying itself out. 2.25 millimeter Chow Goose. I'm doing it on magic loop. I did 64 stitches, 1x1 rib, and just vanilla stockinette sock all the way around. And one thing I love about magic loop is that you can slide it to the edge of the loop, and you can have the person, well, if you know them and if they're available, you can have them slip it on their calf over their foot and just see if that's a good size. So I did, when he was reading the other day, I was like, can you just hold on and stay still? I'm going to see if this fits you. And I took his sock off and I put this on. I was like, yay, it fits. So it's kind of handy to be able to size as you go. But I'm going to knit a couple more inches probably before I do the heel flap and then do this. It's funny because I have really tiny feet, so I can knit my own socks so much faster. His are going to take a lot longer, which it's totally worth it because he actually wants these socks, and it's like the first time he's really wanted something knit, hand knit, so I'm like, yes, I'm excited. But it's also going to take more time. But yeah. So these are my Dragon Ball Z socks. And then my mom got me this adorable little progress keeper. It's a little monkey. And there's a monkey in the show named Bubbles. It's supposed to be Bubbles, but to me, this is Bubbles because it's Dragon Ball Z inspired. So having fun with those. I do have another work in progress. And it's kind of something that is, it's like the only worsted project that I have on the needles right now. I've been getting a lot of love, and I'm sorry. I want it to be done. It actually kind of has a deadline, and I'm just like, I just don't reach for worsted projects anymore. I don't know why. But this is just a cabled hat out of worsted yarn. 4 of my students, I used to be a teacher until earlier this year. I taught for 10 years. And so 4 of my students had requested knit items, and all in a month. So I kind of need to prioritize these. But this is for the student that requested it like 2.5 years ago. And he was like, hey, could you ever knit me a hat? And I said, you got it. And I just said, beware, the knit list is a long one. And I wasn't kidding. So I am mostly a very selfish knitter. But slowly I'm learning to share. And hopefully I will have these hats done by their graduation. Yeah, I gotta prioritize these hats. 2 of them are hats, 2 of them are mittens. So I've got 4 mittens to knit and 1.5 more hats. I can do that. I just need to think about how many rows a week that is and get it done. But it's so much fun to knit for them once I pull it out. Like I said, I just don't reach for worsted projects as much anymore. And I don't know why. I'm just in a thinner yarn phase of my life right now. So that is just where I'm at. Yeah, thank you. I like the hat too. It has no pattern. It's basically just four, I'm just making it up as I go. I mean, I'm sure this hat exists many places because it's just 2x2 rib, 4 stitches of purling, 4 of a cable. So just kind of a simple pattern to follow that I'm just mimicking store-bought hats basically that I had growing up that I liked. So yeah. One more work in progress. And this one is, I'm excited. For my birthday, for myself, a couple weeks before my birthday, Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarn put a Little Mermaid sock kit up for sale in her shop. And I was like, oh, I love The Little Mermaid. I am one of millions of people that love it, and I understand that. But it's a very personal film for me because it was a movie that I saw 6 times in the theater when I was in first grade when it came out. And I would sing all the time the songs. My grandpa thought I was crazy because I wouldn't stop singing all the songs. And that movie was such an indelible part of my childhood. It's just written into that year of my life. And my early development is just tied to it. So yeah, so I was like, I have to order that that was my birthday gift to myself. So, yeah, so I'm making socks with them, and I finished the first ones. And so this is the I'm 16. I think she had two choices, and this was the I'm 16 years old, I'm not a child one. So it's a line that Ariel says. But isn't that gorgeous? I love the yarn. So it came with a main color and a mini. And so I did, excuse me, my voice was doing better until this afternoon. So, I did a 2x2 rib, and then I just did about 1.5 inches of a leg because I wanted these to be kind of summery socks. I did a slip stitch heel flap, and then gusset, and then just ended up with a contrasting toe. So they fit perfectly. I love them. I love the yarn kit. It was like so much fun to knit with. It came with stitch markers that I will grab because I haven't put the second one on yet. I take that back. I have the second one on the needles, but for some reason I have forgotten to put the stitch markers on my needles yet. So it came with this little mermaid. Oh my gosh, which was so much fun because she just looked so cute on the yarn. I enjoyed these so much, and I'm still enjoying the second one. And it came with, excuse me. I know so many people right now in Utah that got this bug because last week it was snowing on Wednesday. Okay, so like a week ago. It was snowing one day, and then it was like 65 the next day and like 75 degrees the next day. So I think a lot of us just got very confused with what season it was. It just threw us off. Alex got sick, then I got sick, and so I apologize for the voice troubles. But it came with this little fishy and little bubble and a little mermaid. I love it. And I apologize, I don't know the name of the maker of the stitch markers. So maybe I can put that in the box below after this loads. But I can't think of who that was. But the Yarn Club was by Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarn. Anyway, huge fan of her stuff and of her as a person. She's a pal of mine. Oh, thank you. Little Shop of Clays. Thank you, Tristan. So, super duper fun. And let me show you my second one because I'm so excited. I think I have finally decided on my favorite preferred sock knitting method. And it is simple bamboo DPNs. These are it. I like Magic Loop, but this is really where it's at for me. So I have finished the heel. No, I have not. I finished the cuff and the leg. I'm just about finished with the heel flap, and then I can start to turn the heel, and then hopefully by the end of the week I'll have a pair of socks. So I love them, love them, love them. So much fun. And these are 2.25 clover bamboo needles. And this is just, I don't know why, but it's my favorite way to knit socks. And I've tried a lot of things. I tried the 9-inch circulars, I tried magic loop, I've tried metal DPNs, and these are just my favorite. They have the best texture for me. I can knit with the least amount of tension. I feel like I'm barely holding on, barely gripping the needles, and I'm getting a good gauge. And that makes it great, because then I can knit for longer without feeling any tension. So yeah, I am a DPN sock knitter now. It's official. And bamboo is my weapon of choice. So, excuse me. Yeah, I'm super excited. Look at how gorgeous this yarn is, by the way. Here's what I've got left of my cake. Sorry, it got smushed a little, but yeah. So that's my work in progress. That is my go-to right now that I've been working on. I think next I did a little bit of sewing, and I sewed not a garment, but a bag for myself. As I mentioned, I loved Little Mermaid, and so growing up, I think largely because of that movie and my like 5 or 6 year old life, I was super into the ocean. I always have been, and I just love anything that has to do with whales or mermaids or blue or just the sea. And now that I'm in Utah, I miss the ocean a lot. So I saw this adorable whale fabric, and I was like, I have to make myself a bag with this. And I didn't line it. It was like $2 worth of fabric because I just bought fat quarter squares. And I wanted to experiment with a bag pattern. So it's super limp, but it's super cute. Little whales. And it has 2 straps. And then I just lined it with a navy blue. But I just really wanted to have like a grocery bag type of bag that had this whale pattern. I made it pretty large, and I made it specifically for my crochet stripe granny blanket. So it's getting bigger, and like I said, it's a queen size blanket. It needs a home, and so now it has a happy home with the whales. So that was my sewing that I did, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So yeah, not too shabby. It's lined and it works, so I'm a fan. So this is my little whale bag that I made. And I'm trying to think of what other goodies I have to show. I can show you what I'm planning on casting on next. Now that I've finished my moving to the country shawl, which I love, I have had these 2 skeins of yarn since August. And I have been eyeing them every day when I walk past them. But they are from Yarning Apart. Super cute little card. And I bought these when I went to I always blank. It's actually happening again in Farmington, Utah in 2 weeks. And it's called, oh my gosh, the Great Basin Fiber Festival. I did it. I have no idea why I can't remember the name of it. I bought these there, and I love them, and I am just dying to cast them on. This is, oh, I know, Tristan's saying I need to use them before 2 weeks from now when they have another one, and I go back and probably buy more of this yarn. But I will have it definitely cast on by then, because I think I might cake them up today. Beautiful colors. This is Mountainside, and this is Icefall. Love it. So I think I need to get on Ravelry tonight and just pick a pattern that uses 2 skeins of fingering weight. I adore these, and I can't wait to knit with them. So if you have any ideas, feel free to leave a comment below, because I'm going to be shopping for the next 24 hours on Ravelry, trying to figure out what these 2 yarn babies are going to become. But it's time. I can't look at them on the shelf anymore. I need to have them in my hands and knit with them. So, yes, this is what's happening next. Trying to think, what else do I have on the floor scattered around to show you? Well, oh, I showed this on an Instagram live that I did when my last episode 26 didn't work out. But I'll show it again. My mom came out for my birthday which was super, super fun. And she bought me some stitch markers, and I have to show them. This is a little Eiffel Tower, because I took French in high school, and I've always loved the French language. And I'm a tea drinker. Well, I'm more of a coffee drinker these days, but I used to be all about tea. Oh, yeah, it was crazy. So a little teapot, super cute. You can see it's got little flowers put on the side. I showed you bubbles. Closely related to it is a love of geography, and I used to actually teach geography, and I love it, and I love globes. We had a little globe that lit up, exactly like the one in the movie While You Were Sleeping. If you've seen that movie, she has this lit like globe from her mom, who at the beginning of the movie they show it. But I had that exact lamp globe, and I would sit as a child and just study it, and it just looked magical to me. And I've always just loved maps and geography, and so my mom got me a globe. So these are a little bit heavier. These are charms. I don't know that they're intended to be stitch markers, but they're perfect for stitch markers. But because they're heavier, I'm going to use them on worsted weight projects mostly, or DK. And they're from Charm Along. So, yeah. So thank you, Mom. I love them. I've been using the teapot one the most, just because it's so stinking cute. But, yeah, it's so fun to add little charms and things to your knitting. It just, like they say, it's just beautiful jewelry for your knitting. So that's a lot of fun. Let me see. So I think now I'm going to do a quick chit chat and just kind of share what's been going on since I last podcast 2 months ago. So biggest thing that has changed is my husband got a new job. And so that has been really exciting. It happened really fast. And so it was kind of, they say that the 3 most stressful things you could do are move, get married, and have a new job and switch jobs. Or move, have a child, and switch jobs. It's one of those 3. And I'm starting to see, even when it's a great job, it's just a lot of transition. So he loves his new job. It's been going great, but just all the change of just the excitement, the schedule, changing, and all that stuff has just been really exciting, but at the same time it's taken a lot of emotional bandwidth. Like when he was doing the whole interview process, it was so much that we were talking about and just really excited. And so it's funny how changes like that really do take a lot of your personal time. Or maybe we're just super chatty as a couple and we're like, oh, that's so exciting and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, that was a big switcheroo that happened the past month and a half. So that was exciting. Another change has been just that I've been readjusting to life not as a teacher. So as I mentioned on previous podcasts, I taught for 10 years and just stepped away from it this December. And so I have enjoyed, I've enjoyed having more emotional bandwidth. I've enjoyed being out of the classroom. I definitely miss my students. I definitely miss so many aspects of teaching, but I just don't see myself going back, at least for a long time. So it's kind of funny. Basically, I'm a person who I don't listen to myself very well all the time. I hear the voices of other people in the room first, and then I listen to myself. So that can be good. I can be a peacemaker. But, sorry, my video froze. So I'm just looking up to the left very strangely, and it looks like the video is still going, so I will keep talking. But it looks like it's frozen. That's fabulous. Let me see. Yeah, so anyway, I'm just going to keep talking and hope it unfreezes. So, yeah. So not being a teacher has really helped me to listen to myself and not have so many voices in the room. So that's been really good. And so yeah, I've really been just been reevaluating a lot of time, hobbies, things that I do, schedule, just humdrum stuff that I've been meaning to get to and haven't. So that's kind of what I've been up to. It looks like it's not unfreezing, so maybe I will just call this a podcast and sign off for today. But thank you so much for tuning in if you're still listening, even though I'm just looking up confusedly to the left of the screen. Um, yeah, so thanks for coming to hang out. I hope you have a fabulous week. Enjoy all your knitting and all those good things, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.